Well, hello there, fellow geeks and geekettes. Welcome to another review video. So I've read Batman Future State, issue 1, and it is exactly what I had thought it would be. It is an alternative take on Batman, where Batman isn't Bruce Wayne. It's set in future, and it's, as I said, it's exactly what we've all expected it to be. And now some people will argue that, oh yeah, Batman has been virtually the same for about 80 years. Well, firstly, this isn't true. There have been many instances when Bruce Wayne wasn't Batman, but had somebody who was Batman instead of him because Bruce Wayne was not able to be Batman. First, it was what I can remember. It was Azrael who became Batman during the Nightfall saga when Batman's back was broken, and then it was Dick Grayson who took the mantle of Batman after Batman was sent, or Bruce Wayne was sent back in time by Darkseid. This being said, there have always or also been many Elseworlds stories, or stories set in alternative realities, in which different superheroes went through different adventures and in many cases had different identities. And you can find good comic books in which those iconic superheroes are not as iconic as we know them. There is one important thing for a comic book such as this to be good. The story needs to be well written. And that's the problem with Future State, issue 1. Batman Future State, issue 1. It's, well, virtually, it's a compilation, it's an anthology of 3 shorter stories, each of them focusing on a different character, and none of those stories are very well written. Read it for yourselves, you will find it out. I'm not going to spoil the stories, but the Katana was alright, but the Batman story itself, you can clearly see in that story that they only changed Batman into being black for the sole purpose of Batman being black, and so they can tick the little box, so they can check the little box of, yes, we have written a black Batman, we are cool now, we have paid our dues to representation and inclusion and diversity in comic books, and we are incompetent and stupid writers who are not able to create new, interesting and intriguing characters who would be POC, or people of color, and that people would be actually interested in. And believe me, there are many original characters that are people of color. My favorite, for example, being Blade from Marvel Comics, Storm or Ororo by Marvel Comics, or Spawn, created by Todd McFarlane, published by Image Comics. So you've got many awesome characters like that, and they are original characters. There was no need to change an original character. But if the story is good, it really doesn't matter who the main character is and what version of that character is. And probably my favorite Elseworld story is Superman Red Son, which is set in an alternative reality in which Kal-El does not land in the United States of America, but he lands in the Soviet Union instead, and becomes the Soviet Superman, who is very much an icon of the socialist regime and the communist regime in the old USSR, and is really under the influence of Joseph Stalin and the regime back then. But, and now some spoilers will come, still, even so, we will discover that even if Superman is under the influence of the Soviet regime and he landed in the USSR instead of the United States of America, which these days I don't see that much of a difference between these two, sorry, he still proves that he is Superman, that he is the Man of Steel who stands for truth, and justice, and wants to save the world, and wants to save the innocent people, and stands for the people, for the good people of the world. He doesn't care about one regime or another. He doesn't care about one agenda or another. And that is the main difference between the Future State comic books and comic books such as these. By the way, masterfully written by Mark Millar and illustrated by Dave Johnson. Right here you can see, right? So this is what you get when Batman lands in the USSR instead of the United States of America. And I love this comic book so much that I even got like a big as humongous sideshow statue of Batman Red Sun right there. So there you can see how much good it is. And to get to my original point, writing comic books for the sole purpose of inclusion and representation is a very bad idea, because the story might not be good, and then people will not enjoy it so much and they will not continue buying the title. The company, in this case DC Comics, will lose sales, they will lose customers, and they will end up, bankrupting as they have. And that's why DC Comics will be dead very soon and will be no longer publishing many new comic books. And if there are any collected editions still published and republished, which I hope there will be, they will most likely be published by like Penguin, Random House, or somebody like that, something like that. So this is the main difference. You first need to write a good story. And as far as comic books go, ideally, very well written story with great art. And then it doesn't matter who the characters are and how they look like. It doesn't matter if they are white or black or green. It doesn't matter if they come from the USA or the USSR, if they come from Europe, America, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, if they come from Antarctica. It doesn't matter. First, you need to have a quality product, and then you can expect to be successful. But to create things solely for the purpose of following one agenda or another, this has never ended up good for anybody. And I'm very sorry to say that from what I've read so far from the Future State, and I am reading the titles just to prove myself right, I am so far. It's written for the sole purpose of saying, look, there's a black Batman. Pat us on the shoulder, please. Give us some sweet, some sugar as a treat, because we have done that. Not good. Not a good idea. So what do you think, my friends? Have you enjoyed Batman Future State issue 1 or not? Let me know in the comments down below about your opinions, if you share my opinions or if your opinions differ in any way. And if you've read Superman Red Sun, which is one of the greatest Superman comic books ever written in the history of Superman. And if you agree with me that the Elseworld stories can be good, and they can even be better than the mainstream reality stories. They just need to be written good. It doesn't matter who the character is. Let me know in the comments down below. And because YouTube is messing up with the algorithm and doesn't like free speech and free speech oriented YouTubers such as I am, please do not forget to like this video if you liked it, or dislike this video if you didn't like it. I encourage you to do so. If you didn't like it, hit that dislike button as much as you can, because it helps the algorithm anyway, or subscribe to this unimportant channel of an unimportant geek talking about unimportant things. That will be all from me. See you soon, and bye.